Our next guests are some of the best at what they do in all of San Diego. Please welcome back to the show the mortgage geek, Sean Cahan, the vice president at Cornerstone Mortgage Group, and his special guest, real estate expert, Emma Lefkowitz.
Welcome to the show. What's up, y'all? Hey. How you doing? Mortgage geek.
Hey, good.
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, awesome.
You guys look really good today together. We get a wide shot of that.
Pretty,
It's very cute. Emma, welcome to the show for the first time.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
It's great to have you. We're going to talk about how to essentially compete today in a hot market. Still in a very hot market. I don't know if you know how outspoken this guy has been about the market on this show or not, but you'll have to watch some past segments. He's been very honest with us about what he thinks, and we really appreciate it because, you know, the show's about making people smarter. So what do? Well, we're in a hot market right now. What does that mean? That means that there's a lot of people who want to buy properties, not that many properties available.
Right.
So what do you do in that situation, Emma, if you're a buyer and you just go, man, do I now have to outbid someone? Is it all about that? What do you do?
Right. So it's a really good question, and Sean is actually the perfect person to be part of this conversation. Number one, you have to be pre-approved. You cannot really go out and look at houses seriously until you have that pre-approval letter in your back pocket. It's so important. You need to know exactly what you can afford. You need to know how much you're putting down, and you need to be ready to write an offer on the day that you see the home that you fall in love with.
Spell it out for me. If I don't do it and I say, no, people say get pre-approved. They're just trying to be super organized. They're just being, OCD about the situation. I don't really need to do that. What's going to happen to me if I think that?
Well, there's a couple things. First of all, you might be looking at homes that are in the wrong price range, and you might not be able to afford the home that you fall in love with, and that's just devastating. So better to start with knowing what you can afford. The second thing that happens when you go look at homes and you're not pre-approved is you find out that there's 6 offers on this home, and you have to submit an offer by 5 p.m. today. And you're frantically calling your lender to try to get your pre-approval letter. He may be busy at that exact moment, and you also have to pull all your paperwork together that day. And it's really this frantic rush, and you might miss the deadline and miss an opportunity to buy a home.
Well, one of the things that's always been interesting to me about buyers is that they hesitate to, and they're reluctant to give paperwork up front, but it's the same paperwork you're going to have to give eventually anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the same stuff. Why not just do it now? It's just like the dirty dishes in the sink. You guys heard about this? It's like if you're going to clean the dishes eventually, why not do it now? Why wait and look at dirty dishes for 2 days? It doesn't make any sense.
Or have something on your mind the entire time.
That's
like,
what I mean.
Oh, I need to do this. Or what I always say is that there's 50 documents that's required for financing at all times, right? That's just like a normal number that a lot of people use. And so I'd be more than happy to ask you for all 50 pages up front, and you can do it all at one time. That might take you about an hour. Or I can ask you, 1 week I can ask you for 10 documents, and then the next week I can ask you for another 10 documents, and then by the 3rd week you're going to hate me because you're going to say, like, why didn't you ask for all of this up front?
Totally.
And then I'm like, that's what I want too. I don't want to come chasing you. So I just like all 50 documents up front. It just makes my life easier.
Well, and if we work together and manage the expectations of the buyers, that if they're able to provide this up front, it's going to be such a more pleasurable process. Take out the pain of having to provide documents to Sean, 6 documents a day, which makes everyone crazy, and just provide it all up front before we even go look at homes. And then it's just done, and you know exactly what you can afford, your letter's ready, and we can write offers that maybe we can remove the appraisal contingency, or we can even take out the loan contingency if Sean has them fully through underwriting.
That was what I was going to ask you about, because I know you're very innovative in the realm of trying to, get ahead of these things.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned earlier, hey, if we do all these things, then our offers look just like cash, which is huge for people who are getting financing, because usually, the cash offer, even if it's lower, is going to win.
Because they don't have contingencies.
Yeah.
There's nothing for the seller to worry about when you get into escrow. Oh, is the appraisal, did that loan officer make a mistake? Did the agent and the loan officer work together, right? So Emma always sends over, hey, I need a pre-approval letter. Here's the contact information of the listing agent. I always call over and say, hey, Emma and I work together on almost every single transaction. We do a lot of deals together. They're completely pre-approved. I already have verification of employment. No loan contingencies required. I already have them approved.
And that agent's like,
I had one email me yesterday and say, I've never even heard of this before. Please put this into writing on your pre-approval. No joke.
No,
and I was
totally new.
So the main thing then as a buyer that you can do to really get ahead of the game is to not just have a pre-qualification, but to actually have a pre-approval approved status, meaning that you've got as close to cash. You can make your offer as close to cash as possible.
Exactly.
And anyone can do this, right? FHA loans.
Correct.
Like, it doesn't matter how much money you're putting down.
No.
You can do this if you just get your paperwork in order.
Get your paperwork in there, get through pre-underwriting, get a stamp of approval, and then there's nothing to worry about it. Also at that time, like, most of the hang-ups are, oh, we don't have the transcripts back. How many times have we heard that, you know? Oh, we don't have the written VOE back from the employer. It's like, well, did you wait until you had loan approval before you got it? Like, well, what was the point of that? Why not get it at the pre-approval? I need that anyway, so.
Right. And that's why we work with Sean, because to be honest, most lenders don't take the time to take those steps in advance. And when you're working with a knowledgeable veteran lender who knows that they can do those things in advance and cross those bridges early, it makes a huge difference for the buyer and for the seller because they have that peace of mind.
Well, there it is. You need every advantage you can get.
Well,
in
and
this
then a
marketplace.
buyer's agent, you look like an all-star if you're going out there and you're writing non-contingent offers. Like, every listing agent wants to accept them as offer, you know, because they know that the deal's going to go through smooth. It's everyone's kind of looking out for each other, right? And I think that's always like kind of like the end goal. So
Very cool. So Emma, I have to ask you some questions about the market in general. It's the
Yes.
first time on the show. We want to hear what you think. We've had a very hot market for several years. Do you think that this can last?
I do. I mean, it feels really good right now out there. Prices are strong. Buyers are strong. Buyers are putting down great down payments on homes, usually 20% at least, we're seeing, at least in my local market. And interest rates are holding steady.
Do you have an area of San Diego that you like best? It's like, this is my favorite neighborhood or favorite area of San Diego for growth and for owning?
Absolutely. I mean, I live and work in Scripps Ranch. That's where my brokerage is, and that's where I live, and my children are in the schools there, and I think it's a phenomenal neighborhood. I sold 50 homes last year in Scripps Ranch alone, and I think that is just the place to be.
number one agent.
Number one agent. Thank you, Sean. It's a phenomenal location. We have, great neighborhoods, great schools, great appreciation on property values, and that makes a huge difference. You want to buy in a neighborhood like Scripps Ranch, and there's obviously several others that are similar, where you're going to see that appreciation long-term on your investment because you have great schools, and we have low HOA or no HOA on most homes, no Melrose tax, which keeps that monthly payment nice and low and affordable, but you can still have a backyard, which is exciting for most home buyers.
Yeah, a lot of people want that because it's going away. I mean, they're not building houses with yards hardly at all anymore if you look at any of the new construction.
Right.
First of all, most of it's multifamily. But if you get past that and look at the single family stuff, I mean, there's not much of a yard, if anything. Sean, do you remember what you said last time I asked you that question? What area of town you liked?
No, I don't remember. But what did I say?
You said Bay Park.
Bay Park.
Oh, yes. No, absolutely.
You still on board with Bay Park?
I mean, I just think that it has a lot of aspects to offer to the middle range, right? Scripps Ranch up northern, and then Bay Park a little bit down kind of southern, kind of central.
Yeah,
Central coastal.
Located, coastal. So I think that you can still get like a property with a good backyard, decently priced, not pushing $1 million, $1.5 million, and really have like a nice house still.
Okay.
So I think that that's kind of up and coming, especially with that trolley that they're extending through Bay Park. I think it will be another push to get some more rehabilitation in that area to increase the I don't want to use that word. I was going to say like newer homes, like remodel and get refurbished. That's the word. I like that word better than the one that came to my head.
No, but Bay Park's awesome for location. So close to downtown, close to the beaches. If you want to be anywhere on the 5, you can get there in 10 minutes from Bay Park.
Great stuff, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Emma. Nice to meet you.
Thank
Thank you for
you
being
too.
here. Mortgage Geek, thank you as always for coming. Really appreciate it. Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.